I can't deal with you, cat. God, stop your whining. I'm in a sheaffer mood. I was fixing a sheaffer pen the other day, and I thought, well, I'll write with it. And I thought, this is kind of neat. Why is it neat? I have no idea why it's neat. It has a fine, slightly flexible nib. And I thought, well, this is pretty darn good. So I filled up another sheaffer pen. And then I thought, I'll fix another sheaffer pen. And suddenly I had this many, 8 sheaffer pens. Not all of them were, quote, new to me. There were some that I sort of had filled, but they were just part of a bunch of pens that I had filled on my desk, ready to go, and in my pocket, and drawing and writing and stuff, but I wasn't really in the sheaffer mood. When you get into a mood, suddenly every single pen you have to have in your pocket is a sheaffer or a Parker or a Vacuumatic or a Waterman Sterling overlay or something like that. You get into just a particular kind of zone. My cat is trying to scratch his way out of the window. Cat, you're not going to get out. Tina. So anyway, I've got these pens. They're all of a class. They're all relatively fine, relatively firm nibs. Some of them have a little tiny bit of a flex to them. And so what can I say about them other than, why am I in this mood? My cat is just crazy. Let me out of here. Sheaffer pens, this one, I realized why this wasn't in my collection before and it was in my sale bin, was because someone took a sharp blade, butcher knife or something, and tried to scratch out the original owner's name out of sheer hatred of that person, probably. That adds, I mean, how you must have really hated that person a lot to take a knife and dig into their name. But you liked pens enough not to throw the pen away or to nail it into the heart of the ex-husband as he's being, at the wake. You had to keep the pen. You wanted to keep the pen because the pen was good and usable, but you just hated the name of that person. So, what would Sherlock Holmes say about this person? So, anyway, it's a pen that only Per Gustafson can love, so I'll just keep it. I mean, if you really want, if you want to buy this pen from me, you can. But you'll have to pay extra for this drama, human drama. This is the nib that has the least amount of variety How do we make that sound good? I have many tuckaways in my collection. Since we're talking sheaffer, I'll show you one right now. If I can find one. Should be extra fine. It should be right here. It's right there. Tuckaways, for those that don't know what a tuckaway is, tuckaways have this little tiny beak of a clip. And I guess it was supposed to imply that you could just tuck it away. They're short. They're generally considered ladies' pens. And this one was owned by someone by the name of Jean Green, who worked for, or who got this pen for meritorious IOUS service to the Red Cross. And it has an excruciatingly fine nib on it that I think is the finest, among the finest nibs I have. And my pen friend, Ted Clausen, who's able to put a personality to a pen nib, I handed this to him to see what he would say, and he recoiled in sort of horror. And he said the only use for a pen like this is to do delicate surgery on the brain of an infant, because that's what it, and he said, oh, it cuts the word, it cuts the meaning of the word you're writing in two, just cuts it in half. And so here's one of them. So back to my sheaffer mood. I see there's another sheaffer here. Oh, sheaffer, this is missing its lever. It has this is also extremely fine. But weirdly scratchy. I wonder if this is supposed to be like that. I have a lot of sheaffers up here in this drawer. This drawer that I have opened is the drawer that I say are extra fine nibs. And many of them are sheaffers. So anyway, back to my sheaffer mood. So my sheaffer mood includes that pen I just showed you, the one with the broken, or with the scratched off name. Most of these have slight flexibility to them, as I was showing you. And there's something satisfyingly sturdy about any sheaffer. It's like they thought every customer that they had that would buy their pens would be a little bit heavy-handed and maybe a little bit clumsy, or not so sentimental. They would, toss the pen down on the desk at the end of the day. They wouldn't. There's something extra strong about these pens. They seem sturdier than Parkers or Watermans, Swans. There's just something very, one might have said, masculine about them. But now with counterculture, what can you say? cancel culture, whatever that's called. Can you say masculine and feminine anymore? Well, I'm saying it, so sue me. No, of course you can say it. They're really neat. They're very strong, very masculine, very sturdy. Even their ladies' pens, I like to think, are men in drag. You know, you sort of have this sense of masculinity in those pens. Perhaps because 99% of them have very, very, again, this is sexist of me to say, very stiff nibs and not delicate. Now, there are some men out there that are delicate, and there are some women out there that have stiff nibs. You know, that are indelicate or are but anyway, they're so different. I keep saying this. This will be on my tombstone. Here lies Pierre Gustafson. Rest in peace. Quote, they are so different. Unquote. This is a sheaffer nib that I put into this pen because this pen sort of demanded a really, really fine nib, and the nib that was in it was not fine enough. And so I put this one in it. This one just, this is very, I would call this very feminine. And again, I'm being sexist. It's very delicate. I have to come up with new words because feminine and masculine, even though it's sort of understandable, it's not descriptive. Delicate is better, you know. This wants to draw or describe the gossamer wings of a dragonfly. That's what this pen is made to describe in words or draw in a picture. Like if I were to write an encyclopedia and I had to write a article about building a breakwater or a fortress, you know, this is the pen I would use. You know, big pen that I can bear down really hard as I'm talking about the battlements and the masonry and the stone structure, describing the feelers on a tiny butterfly, the little antennae. The monarch has 2 antennae which sprout out of its tiny little head and sway to and fro to help navigate the tiny insect to the mating grounds in Argentina. That's what this one would write. This one, one atop the other, the boulders are placed. And the kitty's here. Did you not escape? Tina? Tina? Tina has the most delightful tail, which such soft kitty, I know. You're going to make the nicest pair of mittens when you go away. We'll just turn you into a beautiful, soft pair of mittens. This one wants to write about some Panzer tank armament, or draw the the blueprints of the gun barbettes of the dreadnought. That's what this one wants to do. Its younger sibling, this wants to talk about the cordite storage areas on the dreadnought. Will be waterproof and flame proof, and that's what this one wants to talk about. Do any of these want to talk about the delicate antennae? This one might want to talk about the delicate antennae of a red fire ant as it consumes the body of the dead cowboy after the fight at the OK Corral or something. This one, it's aggressive in its delivery of the line it makes. Let's find another one since we're in this mood. Oh, so much for that. Here's the lever that is just, the lever is missing on this pen, and I just have this in there as to make it look like it's complete. Oh, now what's wrong? Come on. Fuck. Get out of there. Why did that happen? I wonder. Kitty, were you playing with my pens? This is a Waterman. I'm not in a Waterman mood, but I probably, as soon as I draw with this, I'll probably go become a Waterman mood. Oddly enough, if I was blindfolded and felt the pen and drew with it and saw the line it made, would I? Well, yes, of course. Waterman made a variety of lines. I thought this would be much, much more flexible than it is. This one wants to describe the antenna of the butterfly, but do it in rhyme. Kitty. Tina. I know. This one wants to make it not just use flowing words, but it'll rhyme a little bit. In the Encyclopedia Britannica page about the Cecropia moth, or the monarch butterfly. Because there's a lyricism to the flexibility that it's having. And the words not only will rhyme, but because the writer who is composing this, before it gets to the typesetter, he loves making a L and a Y shape. So his article, the article about the butterfly moth, rather, will have lots of adverbs in it. The lifespan of the Cecropia moth is generally, L-Y, speaking, fully, two L's and a Y, fully involved in the propagation of his species, his or her species, their species. Which consequently, LY, leads to another generation. Kitty, just lay down. Just sit. This cat is my other cat, my former cat, Hijack, loved sitting on the desk and would mind his own business, go to sleep. And when I would pick up a new pen, the hand would shoot out and hold onto it. He liked my pens a lot. He wanted to make sure that I knew that they were his. Tina, on the other hand, my present cat, yeah, what is this? This cat wants to play. Okay, get it, get it, get it. Well, I think my cat is making me get out of my sheaffer mood. I was watching a video by Adventure Denali, Alicia, and she was comparing and contrasting and describing the differences of her 4 Kaveco sports. Now, is the plural of Kaveco Kaveki? Quattro Kaveki. That's in German. Kaveco. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Kaveki. And one was plastic, one was aluminum, one was brass, one was steel. And she weighed them all. The brass one weighed the most. But she talked about the weight of them in the hand and the feel and the smoothness and the texture. I really want her to be a guest on my program here, but I think I'm scared her. I've asked her many times. If any of you have any ability to convince her that I don't bite, I think she and I would have a great conversation. She also plays the ukulele, which I like to play, and she has a ferret, which I don't have. But we can talk about our particular pets. She has a dog and a ferret. I have a cat. Okay, well, part of this was to find out whether this iPad crashes in the middle of a thing, and it doesn't seem to. It's my other one that's crashing, and I don't understand why. So I'll try to use this iPad when I do these things. Anyone else have anything to say? Anyone else in the room? Tina, do you have anything to say? Okay, bye.